Nick Reiner is not guilty of murder. Print that.
You know, in the world of high-stakes legal drama, it's pretty rare for a case to deliver a real, genuine shock. Well, the Reiner inheritance case just did exactly that. We're talking about a massive family fortune, a murder charge, and now the defendant's top lawyer has just walked out. But he left behind a clue that might just change everything. So what is going on here? Let's break it down.
And this is where the story just explodes. Right as he quits the case, high-powered attorney Alan Jackson doesn't just slip out the back door. Oh no, he leaves the press with this one. Very specific, very cryptic sentence. It's an absolute bombshell, and it's our starting point for figuring out what's really happening behind the scene. So you gotta ask yourself, why would a top lawyer quit and leave a cryptic breadcrumb like that? Well, the key to understanding the entire defense strategy might be hidden not in what he said, but in what he didn't say. And that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, it seems like such a small detail, just a minor choice of words. But in the legal world, words are weapons. And this specific phrasing, it's a massive tell. It's the huge difference between saying he didn't do it at all and saying, well, what he did wasn't legally this specific thing.
Okay, so this brings us right to the legal strategy. That quote isn't just some random comment he threw out there, it's a signal flare. It points directly to the kind of defense the team was probably building, and it gives us a fascinating peek into the arguments we just might see play out in court. Let's get this straight. Innocent means a total denial. I didn't do it, wasn't me. Simple. But not guilty of murder? Well, that's a whole different ballgame. It suggests, yeah, the defendant may have caused the death, but it argues that their state of mind or the circumstances surrounding it don't legally add up to the charge of murder. It's a subtle distinction, but it is absolutely critical.
So what kind of defense are we talking about? Well, one really strong possibility is something called heat of passion. This defense basically argues that the act wasn't planned, it wasn't premeditated. Instead, it was a sudden, impulsive reaction to something so intense that any reasonable person might just lose control. And if a jury buys that, it could knock a murder charge all the way down to manslaughter.
Now, another possibility is the insanity defense. This is a completely different road. It argues that because of some mental disease or defect, the defendant literally couldn't understand what they were doing or that it was wrong. But you see how both of these strategies fit perfectly with the lawyer's careful choice of words. He's not saying innocent. He's saying not guilty of murder. But hold on, because the lawyer's dramatic exit isn't the only thing raising eyebrows here. There's another layer to this whole mystery, a secret list of witnesses, people who apparently really do not want to testify, and it's forcing a judge to take some pretty extreme measures to protect their identities. 10, not 1 or 2, 10 people who are being officially ordered to court, but are so hesitant to show up that the system is literally having to force their hand. Now, in a case this public, that level of reluctance is really, really unusual. It definitely suggests these witnesses might have something absolutely explosive to say. And this is the question on everyone's mind in Hollywood and in the legal world. Who are these people? Why all this secrecy? Is the judge just trying to protect their privacy from the media circus? Or is there a real concern for their safety? The mystery around who they are just makes this whole thing even more intriguing. And of course, the speculation is running absolutely wild. These are just some of the A-list names being whispered about. Now let's be clear, this is pure speculation for now. But if any of it is true, it would certainly explain the judge's secrecy and the media frenzy. I mean, can you imagine comedy legends like these taking the stand in a murder trial? Wow. And believe me, the court is not messing around. The judge has issued something called body attachments for these witnesses. That's not a polite request in the mail. It's a serious legal tool. It functions pretty much like an arrest warrant, giving law enforcement the power to physically bring a person to court. The stakes here are incredibly high. Okay, so we've got a cryptic quote from a lawyer on his way out the door and a top secret list of witnesses. But what's the thread connecting all of this legal maneuvering? Well, as it so often does, it all comes down to one thing: money. And in this case, a lot of money. $200 million. Let that sink in for a second. That is the estimated value of the Reiner family fortune, and it's the giant prize that turns this criminal trial into an unbelievably high-stakes financial battle. And this is the legal rule that ties everything together. It's called the Slayer statute, and it's actually pretty straightforward. Basically, you cannot profit from your own crime. If you are convicted of murdering someone, you are legally blocked from inheriting their estate. End of story. So here's the bottom line, the crucial point. A murder conviction means Nick Reiner gets zero, nothing. But a conviction on a lesser charge like manslaughter, the very thing a heat of passion defense is aiming for, that could mean he's still eligible to inherit the entire $200 million fortune. All of a sudden, that lawyer's, quote, not guilty of murder takes on a whole new, very financially motivated meaning, doesn't it? So we're left with one last question. Is this very specific legal strategy a brilliant masterstroke to save a massive inheritance? Or is it a desperate Hail Mary in a case where maybe the evidence for murder is just too strong to overcome? That, right there, is the $200 million question the jury will ultimately have to answer.